Hey everyone, I'm going to take a look at the Turkish League Nominating Contract pack. It's been released today on eFootball. I'm going to do separate videos for the J-League pack and also the Speedsters pack, so keep your eyes out for those, and there'll be a review of the Match Pass players and a summary of all the best Nominating Contract players in my opinion as well. So those videos are coming up, but for this one, I'm going to look at the players in this pack from the Turkish League, Players of the Month. And we'll start with Gül. So this guy is an anchorman, defensive midfielder. He's also got centre-back, but he's clearly not good enough to play centre-back with those two in the 70s. I mean, none of these really good enough for centre-back, except maybe aggression. But yeah, defensive midfielder. Those attributes defensively for a defensive midfielder are decent. For a 3-star especially. Pace is okay for that position. Not great kicking power. Jumping and physical are good. Balance, it's alright for a defensive mid 75. Stamina 82. Could be better. As an anchorman, he's not going to be making too many runs forward, so you might get away with that, but something to keep an eye on. But the left column is where we're looking. Anyone playing anywhere in midfield, these attributes are not good enough. He's going to be horrible on the ball. You don't want to be losing the ball, getting tackled in a defensive midfield position. So that for me is a big concern. The passing, likewise, it's not quite so bad, but still, you want the passing to be in the 80s. Even on a 3-star card, those are fairly low attributes. When we look at his skills, though, one-touch pass, through passing, so two important ones for his passing. So his passing won't be quite as bad. Man marking, interception, blocker, sliding tackle, acrobatic clearance. He's got a great selection of defensive skills there. So for his defensive midfielder, defensively he's pretty strong. Down the right hand side, this is all okay. I think the stamina is a bit of a concern. He doesn't have fighting spirit to compensate for the stamina. So yeah, there is a risk he could get tired. But it's just that left column. Yes, he has one-touch pass and through passing, but on the ball he's horrible. And even with one-touch pass and through passing, his passing is still not going to be great. So to be honest, as much as you've got some decent strengths defensively, and down the right he's mostly okay, down that left column for me he's just not good enough. Even for a 3-star card, I can't really recommend this guy. And our other 3-star from this pack, we got Yavru. He's an attacking fullback, right back. As you can see in his position chart, he's also got right midfield and centre back, but we'll rule those out straight away. Centre back, he's nowhere near good enough defensively. Right wing, he's not got enough down the left column at all. As a right back, I mean, again, not good enough on the ball. You don't want to be struggling on the ball, getting tackled too easily. Those attributes are not high enough. This is a 3-star card, but still, you're not going to be playing against all 3-star players, are you? They still haven't given us filters to play, 3 stars only or anything like that. You're going to come up against players who are quite often going to be causing you problems, dispossessing you. So those attributes there, not high enough. The low pass, you can get away with that as a fullback. Lofted pass, 83 certainly. We'll check if he's got pinpoint crossing in a second. Defensive attributes, they're okay. It's a 3-star card, and engagement, yeah, it's a bit low, but the others in the high 70s, okay. I think on the whole, he's okay defensively. Not brilliant, but okay. Pace, and again, it's okay. It's not brilliant, though. He could do with a bit more speed, but it could be worse, though. Down here, not a lot of physical strength, not a great deal of balance either, but he's got good stamina. So he's kind of okay as a right back, just aside from these 3 attributes here on the ball, which for me are way too low. But we'll have a look at what skills he's got, and he has got a hell of a selection of skills for a fullback. So we've got one-touch pass, through passing, pinpoint crossing, so some great skills going forward. Interception, blocker, aerial superiority, acrobatic clearance, and he's got captaincy and fighting spirit as well. So if you're going to be really greedy, it'd be nice if he had man marking, but outside of that, he's got just about every skill you need for a fullback. He's got a fantastic selection of skills there. So the question is, how do you balance it out? Because with all those skills and all the decent attributes he's got down the right, down the middle, with the passing, especially the lofted pass, because he does have pinpoint crossing as well, so he's got a very decent cross on him. Is that all enough for him to be worth using a 3-star contract on when he's that bad on the ball? I think there are people, probably quite a few people, who would look at that and say that's fair enough. Just don't try and do too much with him. Don't dribble too much with him, and you'll get away with it. But I think a lot of people like myself would just say that's horrible. Like even I've got some players who are kind of mid-high 70s for some of these attributes, and you really notice it. So that for me puts me off him. But that's what it comes down to for me, because outside of that, I think the rest of his attributes generally are pretty okay, pretty decent. And the fact he's got such a great selection of skills, I think for a 3-star contract, if you're okay with these attributes here, could be pretty good value, to be fair. Now we have Hassan. I used to have a 3-star version of this guy back in the My Club days. He was a target man back then, I think. He's a target man now. Just a big kind of beefcake, winning headers, being good from crosses. And this is quite an interesting card, this, because he's got some very good attributes. Attacking awareness 89, that's going over 90 with the game plan boost. Finishing 92, heading 93. Physical contact 88, another one that's hitting 90 with the game plan boost, and then kicking power is pretty decent, 85. So this guy's ability to finish chances is fantastic. It's only a 4-star card as well. But where else is he good? On the ball, horrible. Passing, could be worse. Not great though. Pace, horrible. His jumping for a target man is not great, 71. He's 6'3". We'll see if he's got area superiority. Balance is horrible. Stamina's not great. So we've got a real mixed bag with this guy's attributes. He's very much just a big lump up front. You just want to launch the ball to him and just see if he can do something. But we'll look at his skills. He does have aerial superiority. So 6'3", aerial superiority, but 71 jumping. I think on the whole, he's going to be reasonable in the air, but not brilliant. That jumping is poor, so not bad in the air, but not brilliant either. But he does have very good physical contact, so he will win headers. He'll be pretty useful from crosses. But in terms of his other skills, I mean, a big physical guy like this, who's as terrible on the ball as he is, I don't think scissors feint is the most useful skill to have. But heading, acrobatic finishing, aerial superiority, like I say, from crosses should be useful. First time shot. He's got one-touch pass as well, which will help with his passing not being too brilliant. Super sub. So you're chasing the game, you need a goal second half. Lob him on, put him on in second half, lob some long balls up to him, crosses into the box. Could be effective, but this is a guy who's got very clear strengths and weaknesses, so the playing style for me puts me off. I don't like a guy who just stands around up front. I want more mobility. On the ball, horrible. And he's not just on the ball, the pace and the balance as well. He's not going to feel nice at all. He's not quick, he's not mobile. But if you don't mind all that and you're happy to play to his strengths and just kind of, like I say, lob some long balls and crosses towards him and make use of the fact that he's physically strong, he's good in the air. And he can finish with his feet as well if you get an opportunity. It's just you don't want to be taking too many touches before you release your shots because he's horrible on the ball. So, yeah, hard to know what to make of this guy. He's very much a target man, and the difference between his strengths and weaknesses is pretty clear. If you don't mind the weaknesses, the fact he's immobile and he's terrible on the ball, he's going to take chances with his feet and with his head, could be very effective. But if you want a bit more from your striker, yeah, he's going to be a bit frustrating for you. And now we have Aliqulov. I've probably said that wrong. So we have a build-up centre-back, and he's kind of looks okay with these attributes. So down the middle, it's a 4-star card. Engagement's a bit low. I would like the awareness to be a bit higher, but to be honest, on the whole, these defensive attributes are okay. Not amazing, of course, but they're okay. You know, the tackling and aggression both going up to 90 with the game plan boost. I think you could do a lot worse, even on a 4-star contract. A little bit slow, you know, the speed at 71, you can get away with that, but with low acceleration, you're probably going to feel that. Again, some people don't mind the lack of pace in the centre-back, but if you do want a bit more pace in the centre-back, that is obviously going to be a concern. He's about 6'1", 81 for jumping. He's probably going to need aerial superiority, but he's got fantastic physical contact, 90 before your game plan boost. 77 stamina is fine. Down the left, pretty much what you expect for a centre-back. Not great, but not terrible either. I've seen worse. So, what do we get from the skills? We've got heading and aerial superiority. So, 6'1", 81 jumping, aerial superiority. He should be decent in the air. He won't be amazing. He's not going to win every header, but he's certainly going to be decent. Man marking, interception, blocker, sliding tackle. Good selection of skills, to be honest. I think acrobatic clearance is probably the only one he's really missing as a centre-back, but he's got pretty much everything else. I think on the whole, for a 4-star contract, he's pretty solid. Certainly not amazing, but I think certainly for the Turkish League Challenge, if you don't have many decent centre-backs for the Turkish League Challenge and you've got 4-star contracts, he might be worth using one, because I don't think he's going to let anyone down. I think the only area where he's really going to be a disappointment for anyone is if he really is a bit too slow for you. If you do want a bit more pace in the centre-back, that'll be the concern. But I think outside of that, certainly for the Turkish League Challenge, for a 4-star contract, it's a pretty solid centre-back card, this. Now a goalkeeper, Leite. So, got a Brazilian keeper, another 4-star card. Most of these cards are 4 stars in this pack. He's not amazing. I think, again, this is one of these cards where, like with most of the cards in this pack, you're going to have to look at him as a card for the Turkish League Challenge. I don't think he's going to be much use outside of that, unless you're new to the game and you're desperately lacking in goalkeepers. 84 awareness, 83 reflexes. Those are the two most important goalkeeper attributes, and I've got 3-star keepers who are better at both of those attributes. So yeah, it is only a 4-star card, but those attributes are a bit low for me. Turkish League Challenge, yeah, he could do a job for sure, but I would like a bit more. And the catching and the parrying, sure, they're both over 80 with your game plan boost, but they're not particularly high. But that leaves reach, and that is where he is quite good. 87 reach is pretty good, especially when you consider he is 6'5". So he's a big, tall guy with good reach. That does count for a lot as a goalkeeper. So the question is, to what extent does that compensate for the fact that his core goalkeeping attributes aren't the best? The game doesn't lie. 90 rated is not a terrible keeper by any means. It is a 4-star card, but yeah, for me, I think like I said in the first place, for the Turkish League Challenge, he could be solid. He could do a job for you certainly, but beyond that, I don't think this guy's gonna be particularly useful. I don't think many people are going to really get much value out of this guy. And as if I need to mention it, Player of the Month goalkeeper can't jump. Again, Konami with the illogical jumping attributes, but yeah, he's tall, he's reachy. That will count for a lot as a goalkeeper, but his other attributes aren't exactly brilliant. That's why he's only a 4-star. I don't think he's going to be much value to anyone outside of the Turkish League Challenge, but if you've got the 4-star contract, you don't have any decent keepers from the Turkish League, he could be one that's worth picking up for that challenge when it pops up, because he can certainly do a job in that challenge. Right, brace yourself for another mispronunciation. We've got Kılıçsoy, or however you pronounce that. So we've got a goal poacher. This is a young guy, he's only 18. He's come through this season, he's looking decent. I thought he'd been playing some games wide left, but apparently I'm wrong. Or maybe Konami are wrong, heaven forbid. Yeah, goal poacher with decent pace, not amazing pace, not electric pace, but he's got a bit of pace about him. Awareness good, 87. Finishing is great, 89. That'll go past 90 with the game plan boost. But that's where the great stats end. On the ball, he's not terrible, but he's not great. Passing, not particularly good. He's not got great kicking power. I like kicking power to be at least 80. I think kicking power is a little bit underappreciated as an attribute, especially for strikers. It's not great physically or aerially. Balance could be worse, I guess. Stamina's not brilliant at 71. Let's have a look at what skills we got. So we've got first time shot, most important one. One touch pass helps as well, especially with the passing not being great. We've got acrobatic finishing, rising and dipping shots. Long range curl is a nice one. Cut behind turn for your fake shots. And he's a super sub as well. So yeah, a decent section of skills to be fair. There's nothing aerially, really. I mean, acrobatic finishing maybe, but no heading, no aerial superiority. He's not the tallest. He's not great with his jumping and physical. So yeah, he's very much someone you're going to want to get the ball to him on the ground, make use of his awareness and his finishing when it's decent pace. Get him in behind the defence. He can finish. He's got long range curler. Just don't ask too much from on the ball, to be honest. Yeah, and it's nice that he's a super sub. So if you like a goal poacher who's just quick and got good awareness and finishing, you're not too bothered about everything else, I think for a 4-star contract, this guy could be very useful, especially as a super sub. If you like his strikers to be able to do a bit more, like to be able to hold onto the ball, dribble a bit, get involved in the build-up, he's probably going to fall a little bit short for you, but it just depends what kind of striker you like. But yeah, if he's the kind of striker you like, if he suits you as a goal poacher with the attributes he's got, he could be a useful one. And now we have Maksimović. So we've got a destroyer centre-back. He's got right back on his position chart, but if you look at his pace, and you look at his technicals, I think it's fair to say he's not particularly well suited to right back. This is very much a centre-back. And if you look at the attributes from him as a centre-back, down the middle there, pretty much just okay, to be honest. There's nothing amazing there, but there's nothing disastrously low either. He's just kind of okay defensively. Looking down the right, he's 6'4", I think. 192 centimeters is about 6'4", I believe. He's got 82 jumping, 93 physical, so he's physically very strong. With that height and 82 jumping, does he have aerial superiority? Yes, he does. So he should be pretty strong in the air and heading as well. And defensive skills, man marking, interception, blocker, sliding tackle. Again, acrobatic clearance is the one he's really missing, but I don't think that's a huge miss. He can get by without it. It's a pretty good selection of skills. I think the thing with this guy is he's very much just a big physical guy. As you can see, he's not the quickest. 70 speed, 6'8" acceleration. Again, it's a question of whether you need a bit more pace in your centre-backs. Some people don't mind that. If you don't mind the lack of speed, I think this is an okay centre-back. I think he's pretty solid. And for the Turkish League Challenge, again, if you don't, you've got to look at these cards, I think, for the most part, as cards for that challenge primarily. For that challenge, if you don't have many good centre-backs, he could be a very useful card to have. But if you do need a bit more pace in your centre-backs, that's going to be a concern. I would like him to be sort of mid-70s, I think, for speed, personally. So, yeah, the speed concerns me a bit. He's not great on the ball. And when you get the ball with this guy, just get rid of it. Because he's not going to be particularly comfortable on the ball. But again, you're going to expect that with this guy. 6'4". He's a big, strong guy. He's a beefcake. He's got the strengths you would expect from that type of centre-back, and the weaknesses you would expect likewise, with a lack of pace, not a lot of balance and mobility, not great in the ball. But the defensive attributes are okay. He's very strong physically, should be good in the air. He's got a good selection of skills. So if you don't mind the weakness with the lack of speed and mobility, I think it's certainly for the Turkish League Challenge, again, for 4-star contract, he could be a pretty useful card to pick up. Speaking of big physical guys, we've got Nzonzi. Been a while since I've seen a good version of this guy. So, 5-star card, 92 rate, so he's only just a 5-star. He's an anchorman defensive midfielder. He's 6'5". He's a big guy, Nzonzi. And he's kind of alright on the whole. There's nothing really amazing here. And the physical contact is obviously great. You expect that from Nzonzi. He's a big, strong guy. That jumping's going to get 80 with the game plan boost. It'll be interesting to see if he's got aerial superiority as well. The pace, again, if you know Nzonzi, if you've seen him play, if you've had him on this game or any game, you know he's not going to be the quickest. He's like I was saying with Maksimović, he's not about pace. He's a big, strong guy, so expect him to be lacking a bit in speed and mobility there. You see the balance is a bit low, but the ball control's decent enough for an anchorman. We're past 80 for that. Dribbling could be a lot worse for a big physical guy. Tight possession, you're going to need to be careful with that. No left stick dribbling with this guy. Low pass 84 is decent, and heading 82. Jumping 78, physical 92. So I want to know if he's got aerial superiority. He does have aerial superiority. So I think sometimes we can really forget about how important it is to be able to win headers in the middle of the park when your opponent plays a long ball forward, especially from goal kicks. If someone takes a goal kick and just launches it forward downfield, which a lot of people do, this guy can be really effective. 6'5". He's going to have 80 jumping in the game plan. Physical contact in the 90s and aerial superiority. He's going to win a lot of headers for you. In terms of his other skills, and he's got heading as well, but his other skills, one-touch pass, so useful one. Would be nice if he had through passing, but you can't have it all. Man marking, interception, blocker, we mentioned the aerials, sliding tackle, captaincy, fighting spirit. He's got a great selection of defensive skills there. So basically, in terms of his skills and his attributes, he's got just enough on the ball and going forward. He can control the ball, he can play a pass. Defensively, I would like a bit more on his defensive attributes, to be honest. Certainly defensive range 85 is okay. Tackling 83, that's decent enough. I would like him to be a bit more aggressive, and a bit more defensive engagement would be nice, but you can't have it all. It is a 5-star card though, so you've got to look at this and say, okay, 5-star contract. You weigh him up against the other options, and I will be doing a summary video later on, giving you recommendations for each of the 3, 4, and 5-star contracts. But yeah, for a 5-star contract, I'm not sure about those attributes if they're quite high enough. But certainly if you're looking at this as a Turkish League Challenge card, they are high enough, I think, as a guy who's going to sit in front of your defence and just block things, get in the way, break up attacks, and certainly winning headers. Big, strong boy, you can do his defending. You've got a good selection of skills, pretty much all the skills you need for a defence midfielder and command. So, yeah, I think it's a solid card. Like I say, you've got to keep in mind it's a 5-star. The question is he worth one of your 5-star contracts? Depends how many 5-star contracts you got and what other options there are, but if you forget the whole 5-star contract thing, you're just looking at him as a player primarily for the Turkish League Challenge and potentially outside of it. Certainly Turkish League could be very useful. Outside of it, could be useful if you're desperate any given week, but only 92 rated, only just a 5-star. I think that shows. But yeah, certainly in the Turkish League Challenge at least, could be pretty effective. So now we have Trézéguet, former Aston Villa man. And we got another card where the strengths are obvious, but there aren't too many of them. Speed and acceleration, great. Dribbling, very good. Outside of that, yeah, there's not a lot, is there? Attacking awareness is not great. He wants to play as a wide forward, left or right. Attacking awareness is pretty poor. The ball control and tight possession, yes, they're 80 plus, but only just. They're not brilliant. Passing is low pass is very poor. Lofted pass isn't too bad, 76. Finishing 75 is okay. Over here, the balance, yeah, it's not too bad, but could be better. Not great stamina. So really with this guy, it's the speed and the dribbling. It's really all you've got in terms of the attributes. And then we have a look at his skills, and that will tell us if we've got any kind of end product. And we do, to be fair. So firstly, double touch, flip flat, sole control. Again, I think that's the combination for a ball roll double touch, whatever it's called, that special double touch. One of the skillers can confirm that. But then we've got long range curler, long range shooting, first time shot. So we've got some shooting skills, through passing and pinpoint crossing. So we've got some passing as well. Outside curl is a nice one to have. Track back with his stamina being in the 70s. That's not what I want personally, but some people like that. But yeah, he's got the shooting skill. He's got through passing and pinpoint crossing. So with the shooting, finishing 75, he's got a decent shot on him. Not a brilliant shot, but he's got a shot on him. And with his passing, through passing, sadly, that's all that's going to mean is that his passing is less terrible because 69 is not good enough for low pass. Yes, it goes over 70 with a game plan boost. Yes, he's got through passing, but don't ask too much from with his passing because it's not great. 76 lofted pass with pinpoint crossing. Yeah, he can put a cross in, but again, it still doesn't mean he's got great crossing. I would want lofted pass. Even with pinpoint crossing, I would want lofted pass to be in the 80s. So there's a question mark on his end product. It's not brilliant, but he can certainly score a goal for you, I think. And his dribbling and his pace are good, but without more of his attributes outside of that being good, especially the attacking awareness and his end product having an asterisk on it. For me, even though it's only a 4-star contract, I don't think this is a great card. If you just want to get, if you just like a player out wide, he's got the pace, he's got the dribbling, and you're going to be careful enough with his shooting, he could be effective for you in that Turkish League challenge especially. But outside of that, I think he's a little bit limited. So yeah, some qualities there, but ultimately for me, it's not a brilliant card. And speaking of dribblers, we got Zaha. So again, great pace, great dribbling. This guy's a little bit better than Trézéguet, but there's not a huge difference, to be honest. Attacking awareness, a bit better, but still not brilliant. Ball control, similar. Bit more tight possession this time. Passing, on the whole, pretty similar to Trézéguet. Finishing a bit better. We're going to get to 80 for his finishing in the game plan. We get a decent boost. Balance is decent at 81. Got a bit of physical contact on him as well. But yeah, that's about it. So yeah, pace and dribbling primarily, but just a little bit better than Trézéguet on the whole. And if we look at the skills, as you expect with Zaha, this guy's going to be one for the dribblers. Got a bunch of skill moves there. I'm pretty sure he's got that combination for that special double touch thing. So I think the skill merchants will like this guy. Through passing and pinpoint crossing. So again, we got some skills that will compensate for his passing not being great, but he's still not going to have great end product when it comes to creating. So be careful with that. And he doesn't have any shooting skills to really make the most of the fact that his finishing goes to 80 with the game plan boost. So honestly, I think this guy is similar to Trézéguet. He's got pace, he's got dribbling. He should be pretty effective for the dribblers when you get him on the ball, but it's that end product where there's a bit of a question mark. I'd like a bit more attacking awareness. You can use him as a centre forward, but I don't think attacking awareness and finishing are good enough for that. But yeah, out wide, like I say, I think this guy's got a bit more in his locker than Trézéguet. If you're on these dribblers, the skill merchants, you like to get on the ball and just dribble and do skills, he could be a really fun one. If you're picking between him and Trézéguet, sure, this is a 5-star, Trézéguet's a 4, but certainly Zaha does have a bit more in his locker. So same kind of situation really, just a bit better than Trézéguet. If you like the pace and the dribbling, if that's the way you're going to use him, could be effective. Outside of that, he is a little bit limited, but certainly could be a fun card to use. And we finish up with Tadić. So we have a whole player version of Tadić, and this is another 5-star card. And you'll see straight away we've got a very versatile player here, but I think when it comes to his versatility, it's going to come down to looking at his attributes and just asking yourself, is he suited to each of these positions? And it might depend on how you play the game, because for me, I don't like to use wingers if they don't have too much pace about them, and this guy doesn't have too much pace about him. 79 speed, 81 acceleration. Sure, they'll both be over 80 with the game plan boost, but he's not the quickest. Some people might be okay with that, especially on the right as an inverted winger, cutting inside and sort of playmaking and stuff. He's a whole player, so he's going to be a bit more aggressive with his forward runs than he normally is. I think he's normally a playmaker. But yeah, I think it's fair to say this guy is going to be most effective played through the middle. As a centre forward, not for me. Attacking whereas 79, finishing 76, not really high enough for that position. But as an SS or an attacking midfielder through the middle, I think that's where you're in business with this guy. I think that's where you get the most out of him, and he could be a very tidy player. So in those two positions, attacking mid or SS, as a whole player, the pace is okay. It might not be electric, but it's okay. He's not slow. Physical contact's decent for this type of player. Balance will hit 80 with the game plan boost. That's okay. Stamina 80. He's probably going to get tired. Whole player playing style is going to be making a lot of forward runs. So 80 stamina, he's probably going to get tired if you start him. And down the left here, as a whole player in those two positions, going past 80 for attacking awareness is good now. On the ball, not amazing. He's certainly not a dribbler by any means, not without more pace at least. But he's tidy enough. He can control the ball. He can take a few touches. I don't think he's weak there. I think some people would like him to be better, but I think that's tidy enough. And then with the passing, 85 low pass, not amazing, but pretty decent. 90 lofted pass. He's certainly got a good cross on him. We'll check his skills in a second. Finishing 76. Could be higher, but that's not too bad for an attacking midfielder. And like I say, we'll check these skills now. So, some skill moves for the skillers. Even though he's not the quickest and he's not much of a dribbler in terms of his attributes, he's got a few skill moves there that he can use. But then when it comes to the end product, long range curler, rising shot, long range shooting, first time shot. So he's got a good selection of shooting skills. Heel trick's a nice bonus. Then he's got through passing and pinpoint crossing. So those shooting skills will compensate for his finishing. So he should have a decent shot on him, even if not an amazing one. Through passing, should have a nice pass. It's a shame he's not got one touch pass, but 85 low pass and through passing, I don't think we can complain too much. Pinpoint crossing with 90 for lofted pass, 85 curl, 79 kicking power is going to go over 80 with the game plan boost. He's going to have a fantastic cross. So you could put him on the left, even though he's not the quickest. If you put him on the left, he's got a really, really good cross on him. And likewise on the right, if you were cutting inside, putting in swinging crosses in, he can cross, but he can pass as well. Like I say, for me personally, looking at all the strengths and weaknesses he's got, not the quickest, but he's very technically sound, got some end product about him. I would like this guy as an attacking midfielder or an SS, making some good attacking runs, and when he gets into positions, he can shoot, and he can certainly pass as well. So, for the Turkish League Challenge, I think this is a very good card, a very useful card. I think even outside of the Turkish League Challenge, he could be a useful one. He's not quite on the level of the, the top level players, to be honest. So I think outside of the Turkish League Challenge, most of us probably have quite a few players who are better than him. But if he's got form in any given week and you don't have too many players on form, even outside the Turkish League Challenge, he could be a useful one. So yeah, a useful card this. I think it's probably the pick of the pack. And again, in that Turkish League Challenge, it's going to be a very strong card. It's a very technically tidy one. Could be very effective. So there you go. I don't think it's an amazing pack from the Turkish League, but I think there's certainly some usable ones for the Turkish League Challenge. You've got 1-2 centre-backs who could certainly do a job in that challenge. And then some attacking players as well. I think Zaha and Tadić probably they're the two highest rated in the pack, along with Nzonzi there, who's also on 90. He's pretty usable in Nzonzi. I think Zaha for the dribblers could be a fun one to pick up. Tadić, I think, is a very tidy, very useful player. He's quite versatile. It's an alright pack on the whole. It's not the most exciting one. Not exactly spoilt for choice in terms of which players you're going to use your 3, 4 and 5 star contracts on, but some decent ones in there. But like I said at the start and through the video, I've mentioned a few times, I think you've got to look at these players primarily as players for the Turkish League Challenge. I think there are, on that basis, there are some decent cards in there that'll be worth picking up. So yeah, not the most exciting pack, but some that might be worth picking up. So there you go. I'll be doing a separate video for the J-League pack, another one for the Speedsters pack as well, so watch out for those videos, and then I'll also do one reviewing the 2 match pass players and summarising the players who I would recommend using your contracts on for 3, 4 and 5 stars. So look out for those videos over the next day or two. Thank you for watching, hope you found it useful. I'll see you soon.